Well, I bet you guys are thinking that on one hand we have science and on one hand we have superstition. How can these two be ever same or be ever even taken in the same sentence together? So in this episode, let us find out how these two can be merged together. Welcome to another episode of Intl-o-Q, and in this episode, we shall try to find out the science in superstition. Or is it the superstition in science? Stay hooked! So, the very definition of superstition states that it is a belief resulting from ignorance. But ignorance of what? What are people ignorant of? Well, you see, us human beings, we always have a tendency of controlling our surrounding. We always want to control that is around us. And when we cannot control that, we try to blame it on external factors. Okay, this did not go well, the weather was not so good, that wasn't prepared, etc. and etc. We never blame ourselves for the disaster that is being caused outside. And herein comes the role of superstition. Whenever something bad happens or whenever something good happens, we try to blame it or we try to put the thing on external factors. We never try to see what is inside of us. And that is why today we are going to debunk 5 of these most famous superstitions which actually have very much valid scientific logic behind them. Okay, number 5 is stepping out during a solar eclipse. Now, this obviously doesn't need any reason to be given, but then let me give a reason for that. I mean, most of the people actually believe even till today that Rahu actually eats up the sun during a solar eclipse. Now, this is obviously, I mean, if it's a religious belief, I wouldn't want to hurt your religious sentiments, but actually there's a very big scientific explanation behind this. The reason being that when during a solar eclipse, what happens is that germs and microbes actually get activated a lot. So if you're stepping out during a solar eclipse, if it's actually harmful for you. More so, even if you look at the sun directly, it can cause retinal burns. So therefore, this is the reason why you're not supposed to look at the sun directly during a solar eclipse or even stepping out of your house during a solar eclipse. Number 4 is not going near a peepal tree at night. Now, this has nothing to do in general with peepal trees. It's actually basically any tree at night. You're not supposed to go near any tree at night. The reason being is what we have learned in our elementary school. Plants actually basically absorb sunlight during the daytime and they undergo a process called photosynthesis, due to which they release oxygen in the daytime. But at night time it's the reverse. Since you're not getting any sunlight, no photosynthesis is taking place, so carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere. And this carbon dioxide, obviously, I mean, we are also exhaling carbon dioxide and even plants are exhaling carbon dioxide. So this is actually harmful for us as human beings. That is why you're not supposed to go near any tree at night. Okay, then we have is bathing after attending a funeral ceremony. Now that will be our top, in the top 3 list. So bathing after attending a funeral ceremony, like why would our ancestors even want to do that? I mean, trust me, apart from the hygiene reasons, there's a very good possible reason behind that being that when you're closer to a dead body, a dead body is a dead body of course, but when you're closer to a dead body, you are being exposed to various kinds of infections and germs. And when you're exposed to these germs, the best way to wash them off is come back home and take a good long bath. And that is what our ancestors did, and that tradition has actually stuck around for so long. Next, number 2 we have is chewing of tulsi leaves. Now that is something which is not allowed. You're supposed to directly swallow the tulsi leaves. A lot of you might have heard your moms, your grandmoms saying that when you're putting the tulsi leaf in your mouth, you're directly supposed to swallow it. They might be saying that tulsi is an incarnation of goddess Lakshmi and therefore you're not supposed to chew that because that is a mark of disrespect, guys. So, but then there is a scientific explanation behind it. The scientific explanation being that tulsi, although it's very healthy, no doubts about that, it's very healthy, but then it contains a little amount of arsenic, and this arsenic, when you're chewing it, will lead to yellowing of your teeth and enamel degradation. Unhealthy, right? Yes, of course. Although tulsi in its natural state is very good for your health, very good for your body and everything, but then chewing of the tulsi leaves, not so good. Okay, now we are going to come to some of these honorable mentions. They obviously did not make it to the top 5 list, but are very good contenders. Number 1 being is that when you're eating dahi and chini for luck, of course, fine, everyone has their own superstition. Of course, you might attribute that this thing went good because you ate dahi chini, but then there's a very scientific explanation behind that. The scientific explanation being that dahi, it acts as a coolant for your body. In a tropical country like India, dahi is very good because it actually cools your body, cools your mind. And the sugar, it contains glucose. So that is obviously going to give your body strength. So when you're eating these two together, your body is cooled, it's energized, and of course, a cool and calm body means a cool and calm head, which will function well, right? Okay, the next honorable mention is that you're not supposed to cut your nails after sunset. Now, that might actually lead to some amount of, variety. I mean, some people might have some other tradition of not cutting nails on certain days, but the most common thing is that you're not supposed to cut your nails after sunset. The reason being is that in the olden days there was no electricity, so obviously without any electricity, people, when they would be using nail clippers, they might actually clip their skin, they might harm their skin. So that is why it was said that after sunset you're not supposed to cut your nails, because why harm yourself just by using the nail clippers. Okay, before we go to our number 1 on the list, all those of you who haven't yet subscribed to our channel, you need to subscribe to our channel ASAP, so that you get to watch more such fun videos whenever we drop a video online. And for that you need to hit the bell icon. I mean, otherwise without that you won't be getting any notifications. Okay, so the number 1 on our list, not sleeping with your head in the north direction. Now why is that? A lot of people might have heard that sleeping with the head in the north direction can cause death. I mean, actually it does. Well, I'm not very sure about that, but then there's a very scientific explanation behind that is that when you're sleeping with your head in the north direction, your head is actually going to be positively correlated to the Earth's positive pole. Now, what is the Earth's positive pole? What happens is that the Earth's magnetic pole travels from the north to the south direction. So when you're sleeping with your head in the north direction, it is going to repel Earth's positive pole or Earth's north direction pole, and that is why this can lead to problems in blood circulation, it can lead to sleeping disorders, it can lead to higher blood pressure, it can lead to nightmares. So that is one of the main reasons why you're not supposed to sleep with your head in the north direction. So if we want to actually go through all these various decades of superstitions, scientific facts, science has always taught us one thing, that you should always keep an open mind. I mean, that is one of the basic principles of science. I mean anything and everything is possible if you actually take up science word for that. So that is why what I would like to say is that one always needs to keep an open mind. I mean, you might have your different set of beliefs, other people might have different set of beliefs. In certain cultures, the black cat is considered to be unlucky, and that has carried on to other cultures. The number 13 is considered unlucky even today. I mean, you have several hotels where the number 13 is totally missing, no 13 number room, no 13th floor, etc. So what actually happens is that in such cases, maybe there are not scientific explanations behind that, or maybe there are scientific explanations behind that, but then the top 5 which we have listed today have perfectly scientific valid principles behind that. So as always, thank you for watching and stay hooked for our next week's episode. Hey guys, hope you've liked this video, and if you have, you need to give a thumbs up to this video. Do not forget to give a thumbs up. And for all those people who haven't subscribed to our channel, definitely do subscribe to our channel for more such fun videos, and definitely hit the bell icon, because unless you hit the bell icon, you can never know when we are posting a video online. And as usual, thank you for watching.